Hello friends, it's Lisa and welcome to my bullet journal setup for July. So this month I decided to go with this very bright, very fun, kind of 70s inspired like floral pattern type of theme, and it's a very simple theme, just a bit time consuming because what I'm doing is just drawing a bunch of simple flowers over and over and over and over and over again. So this first page that I'm working on is the cover page for the month, and I do also edit out me drawing the flowers and coloring them in just because there's so many flowers in this spread and in these pages. But right now I'm working on the cover page, and as you can see I did leave a little bit on the right side empty because I'm planning on doing a little Dutch door sort of moment. So I just went up the side, and like the edge of the flowers where I stopped is where I'm going to cut this front page. So I'm just drawing these flowers. I used a like yellow, orange, pink, and green marker color combination. Honestly, looking at it, it kind of gives me Lizzie McGuire vibes, which is also just like an added bonus, and I love that. But I kind of have them fading out to the left side of the page, and I'm just coloring them in. Again, it's a very simple theme. It's just very like time consuming because it takes a while to kind of draw all the flowers out and color them in. But yes, I draw these flowers and kind of color them in and have them flowing over to the left side, and then in the center of the page I write out July, and I use that kind of like funky 70s inspired kind of groovy font. I don't know what words to use to describe it. You'll see what I mean as we get there, but it's kind of like bubble letters, but I kind of make them a little bit bigger on the ends to kind of give it that 70s-ish look. Also, side note, as we continue on into this video, this voiceover might not be my best voiceover. I already struggle with them to begin with, but right now my throat is kind of bothering me. I don't know if I'm getting sick or if it's allergies or what it is, but if I sound funny or I'm just struggling a bit, that's why. I'm gonna try, I think, to talk the least amount as possible in this voiceover, which you're probably very thankful for, to be honest. But yes, like I said, I wanted to do a Dutch door sort of thing on this spread so that the flowers on this main title page kind of flow into the next page and onto the next page. So I'm just cutting along the edge of these flowers on the title page to create that Dutch door. And then once I'm done cutting off that extra piece of paper and have that Dutch door effect, I keep the title page laid down and I just start making even more flowers onto the next spread, which is going to be my calendar spread. I didn't want to just flip to the other page and start drawing the flowers because I wanted the flowers to line up with the title page. So I kept the title page laid down and started drawing all the flowers based off of that. And then I flipped to the other side to the calendar spread to make the rest of the flowers on the next spread. So yes, I'm just drawing a bunch of flowers on both the right hand side and the left side of this calendar page, and I also went in with a pencil to kind of mark where the edge of the Dutch door kind of is, the title page is, just so I don't have flowers from the calendar page peeking through on the other side. I wanted it to look as clean and seamless as possible. So taking a break from drawing a bunch of flowers, I had to make my calendar a little bit differently sized this month. So I did have some extra space at the top and the bottom, and so at the top I decided to have a note section just for any general events or things that I want to make sure I know is happening in the month, because my calendar is a little funky shaped. It's a little bit smaller. I think the boxes are like 4 by 6 or something, so they're taller and skinnier boxes than I'm used to, so I just want to make sure I have plenty of space to write down everything that I need, and if I need that note section to kind of have some spillover from the calendar, then I have that. And on that bottom section where it also has some empty space, I wrote July just to fill in that empty space. So when I go in to start labeling the numbers for the calendar, I decided to, well, I was originally just going to write the numbers with the different colored markers, which I decided was boring. So I decided to draw little flowers inside of the actual boxes to put the numbers on top of and label them that way, just to bring the theme into the actual calendar, make it a little bit more fun and exciting. And I feel like I've said flowers way too many times in this voiceover, so sorry about that. But while I finish up this calendar spread, which is just a lot of me coloring in these various flowers, and there I go saying that word again, it's probably going to keep happening, but I would love to know if any of you have any fun plans for the month of July, anything going on, anything you're looking forward to. For me personally, I have some fun concerts coming up. I'm going on a bachelorette weekend, and I'm also just hoping that July is the start of some warmer, nicer weather where I live. There's been a lot of rainy days so far this summer, so I'm hoping July we can get in some pool days, some nice days, and I'm just looking forward to hopefully a more sunnier summer. Moving on, we're going to be working on my habit tracker page next. So once again, drawing a bunch of flowers. As you can see, again, like it's just a simple theme. It's just a bit time consuming because I just had to draw so many flowers. But I wanted the flowers to kind of center around the header, like the top of the page where I was going to write out habits. So that is where I focus a lot of the floral drawings. And then after coloring those flowers in, I just write habits up at the top, and then the actual page is where I'm going to have my little calendars to keep track of all of the different habits that I want to keep track of this month. So as always, I keep track of when I read, when I'm more active, when I do my skincare routine, when I wash my hair, when I use mouthwash, and when I floss. Most of these things I do just naturally, but it is kind of nice to make sure I'm keeping track of these things and making sure I'm doing them as often as needed. So yeah, that is kind of really it for my habit tracker. I keep it pretty simple. I do add some more flowers kind of surrounding the actual habits just to add a little bit of something so they're not all at the top, but I wanted to keep most of the flowers like focused up at the top of the page. Now on the right side, I'm going to be having my playlist page and keeping track of the music that I was listening to in the month of July. I just love having this page. I love being able to list out all the music and albums and everything that I was listening to each month. It's like one of my favorite spreads to look back on on past bullet journals that I've had, so I know that I like to include this. So I decided to have kind of the center of the page be completely blank and have that be where I can write down all of the albums and songs I was listening to, and then have this border going around it with all of the flowers. So this was definitely the most time consuming spread, I think, because there were so many flowers just around the edge, but I think it really looks cool, and I'm really happy that I decided to do this. And instead of writing playlist on this page, I decided to write tunes. That felt more 70s inspired, I suppose. Plus, it was a shorter word, so it was less letters that I had to draw. So it all worked out for a variety of reasons, but I'm just writing tunes at the bottom, and then I color in the rest of the flowers. And yeah, I'm really excited to kind of work with this spread and see how I decide to fill in the empty space. And while I finish up this month's playlist page, I thought we could talk about some music that I was listening to last month in the month of June. So many albums came out last month. We have the new Niall Horan album, the Macy Peters album, Ryan Beatty came out with an album, which is a person that I used to listen to all the time when I was 13, but his new album is getting a lot of buzz, so I listened to it and it's great. And also the new Jonas Brothers album, which I wasn't too sure about on my first listen through, but the more I listen to it, the more I like it. So lots of great music, and I'm just so excited to see what music comes out in July, like Speak Now Taylor's version. I'm so excited. So now we're moving on to the final spreads I'm going to be setting up in this month's bullet journal. So these are going to be my weekly spreads. And this month I'm trying out a little bit of a different layout. I think I saw someone do this on Pinterest. I think it was a post on Pinterest that I saw. But basically I just have 2 boxes on the top, 3 boxes in the middle, and then 2 on the bottom, and kind of offset them a little bit just to make it a little bit more interesting. And in those empty spaces, I write a little calendar on the side just to have a quick little overview of the month. And then on the top, I have a note section just for anything that's in general happening that month, maybe something that's happening next week that I want to remember, anything like that, any just like extra stuff that maybe doesn't fit in my individual boxes for the week. But I just thought this layout was really fun, very different. I do like to switch it up every once in a while, because I find that sometimes I can get stuck doing the same thing. So I'm really happy that I switched it up, and also looks like I have plenty of space to write down whatever I might need. And in that kind of empty space surrounding the little calendar at the bottom of the page, I of course filled that with flowers to bring the theme kind of into the weekly spreads. But that is it. That's going to be it for my July bullet journal setup. So here's a flip through of how it all turned out. I think this is a really fun theme. It's very bright, very summery, and like I said earlier, kind of gives me Lizzie McGuire vibes. So kind of love that as well. And I'm just really happy with it. I think it's very fun. So let me know down below if you bullet journal, what theme you decided to go with in the month of July. I would love to know. But that is going to be it for my July bullet journal setup. So thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one.